One of the new clients we took on this month asked me last week a really good question, and I wanted to answer that and provide my answer and our framework to those that are following the YouTube channel or those that are just searching. So thank you for watching this. In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple text that you can send to your guests and ask them for feedback and what you can do to help others see how your church is serving your community. If we haven't met before, my name is Justin Nava, and I want to see 1 million churches become the cornerstone of their community in America. I don't know how that's going to happen. We don't even have 1 million churches in America, but sometime in my lifetime, I want to see that happen. It doesn't mean 1 million mega churches. It means 1 million local body of believers. Could be 15, could be 50, could be 500. But I want to see churches return to being the cornerstone. When someone has a need or when someone feels the pull of God, they know the church to go to, and they aren't persuaded away or led down a false gospel road. If you want to learn how to get more people to be aware of your church and know your church so you can stop being the best kept secret, subscribe down below. Let's get into this. I had a client that came on. They noticed last year in 2024 that there was a decline in their kids ministry. And they asked me, Justin, is like, what can we do to figure out, where we're missing the mark? And I basically was like, oh yeah, this is something that we do that I didn't realize I've never taught before. And that's through simply texting for feedback. But if you go back in the channel, there's a playlist called Reputation for Churches. It might also be under local SEO, where we discuss the importance of having Google reviews for your church. And one of the things that we like to do is we like to text guests or people that just became members and ask them for their feedback. One of the things I want to share with you today is a simple script you can use. It is a bit longer because usually we start with a longer framework and then trim it down to what we need. But I'm going to share with you the full framework, and you can pick and choose what you'd like and customize it for your church. That's the name of the game. You never want to just copy what another church is doing. You especially don't want to copy what another agency is doing. You want to make sure it's tooled for your church. So I'm going to share with you the full script and then the different pieces of what they mean. So here's the script that we start with, and then we can call it down. I just got to paste it into a document here. Hi, name. Always use someone's name. Don't just send a text or an email. Always address people's names when you're sending a text on behalf of your church. Now, this says we've missed you. Obviously, if they just attended your church, either a Sunday afternoon or the day before, don't say missed you. So automatically, number one, it's a personalized message and you're telling who it's from. Don't type all this out and then say who it's from at the end. They're going to check out before then. So automatically, they know who it's for and who it's from. It's just like a letter. You got to nail that before they open the letter. You want to make sure that you address the person by name. Now you get into actual stuff. We're committed to providing a nurturing environment for your family to grow in faith. If you want to reinforce why you exist as a church, this is a great spot to do it. You're setting up an expectation. Some people may say this and say, like, I didn't have that at all. I did not feel like I was growing in my faith. Maybe your church says, hey, we want to have your family here to have a safe environment to work out your faith. And they're like, no, this was very not safe. Now they're going to be set up to defend that. So it almost draws out, if they didn't have that experience, if you missed the mark as a church, a statement like this at the beginning almost draws that feedback out because you're stating something that should have happened and they didn't experience it. So it's kind of like someone got your meal wrong and the manager comes up to you and says, hey, how was your food? Did we cook you the right food? And you're like, well, actually the cook was undercooked or overcooked. They're setting themselves up for that honest feedback. We like to restate that to, again, further embed it in the mind of this is what we are here to do. Okay. And just flat out ask, would you please reply with your honest feedback? Okay. Number one, what drew you to our church initially? Why did you show up in the first place? This is huge because even if they don't give you positive feedback, you at least know what brought them in. Or is there something that you didn't realize you're doing that, hey, we need to double down on this? What drew you to our church? Oh, the sermons were great. Oh, we loved the sermons. The preacher was fantastic. If this is what's drawing people in, then maybe we should utilize our preaching more on social media, online, to get people to hear about our church and be convinced that this is a place to go. There may be something that you're doing that you didn't realize you're doing. So having this question up front really helps draw out what's working at your church. And then what's one thing we could do better to serve your family's spiritual needs? Always make it one thing. All right. If you just say, hey, what can we do better? Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to hurt their. But if you just say, what's one thing? They're not going to have a problem saying, hey, you know what? The coffee filter was empty, or the coffee pot was empty, or the music was too loud, or I couldn't find a good parking spot. Over time, you might have some good feedback that's more commoditized like that. But you may also hear something that's, you know what? We just didn't feel like we could really fit in, or no one really shook our hands. Those symptoms are not exactly things that you need to fix right away, but they are symptoms of a greater problem. We have a greater problem. We are missing the mark when it comes to being the belonging church that we desire to be. So I like asking just one thing. What's one thing that we could do better? And many people won't stop at one thing. They'll give you 2 or 3 things. Your feedback is invaluable in helping us shape the ministry that truly supports families in our community. Again, this needs to tie back to your memorable message, your brand statement, your one-liner. Hey, we want to be disciples and who make disciples, and we want you to feel like you've been equipped. I wouldn't use that language, but hey, if that's your church, that's your church. And then, of course, thank you. Signed, Pastor Joe, Pastor Scott, whatever. I think it would be good to actually sign it personally. Most of ours do. We just don't have it on the framework, but I'm going to add it right now. Pastor name. So that's the framework that we use. Personal welcome. Let them know who it's from right away, because this is a cold text. They probably have not gotten a text from you before. Tell them why you exist. Then ask them for feedback. Are you making that mark? Are you hitting it? Are you serving them effectively? And then remind them, we are listening. Your feedback is important. We value your feedback. Sign it personally from the pastor. This is a simple text that if you send this to your first-time guests, you will get some feedback and you will be able to see what's bringing people in and where you might be missing the mark. You're going to see some of those blind spots without having to spend thousands of dollars on a secret shopper. And it's just a text. It can be hand-typed. If you don't have a large church, you don't have to invest in expensive software. You don't even have to invest in cheap software. Sunday afternoon, get the roll, get the guest cards, and send out some text. Doesn't even have to be from the pastor. It could be from the youth pastor. It could be from a volunteer. The important thing is that your church is reaching out to someone, and that can be nurtured into a personal relationship that discipleship can happen. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, and you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Maybe you have a different way of formatting it. Share it down in the comments, and let's spur each other on and help each other out with ideas like this to get more people to see what Jesus can do for them through the context of our fellowship. God bless you all, and I'll see you all in the next video.